Yes. Oh my God. All these pictures are so weird. Like, what made Fatima is not no psychic.
The whole video is black and white. I love black and white videos.
I just have to disagree with that. I truthfully and honestly, in my opinion, think that Fatima knew what was coming. She knew that she has something to do with setting Aaliyah up. She knew. Let me take these last pictures of Aaliyah so, you know, we can see how happy she was on her last days, or maybe it was just for her. Fatima is very sketchy, and I won't let it cross my mind. Like, Fatima has something to do with that. I'm not blaming her like I said, but I just really, why do I look so pale? And anyway, Fatima weird, bruh. People need to question her.
Airport, Aaliyah and her crew. So it's like, what made Fatima so excited to take all these last pictures? And going back to the sleeping picture, am I the only one when I was younger and I used to Google Aaliyah and that picture would pop up in Google Images? And I'm the only one who would get chills from that picture? My heart would almost skip a beat when that picture popped up because I always thought that was a picture of Aaliyah after she had passed. But then
I kind of figured it wasn't a picture of her after she passed because your head is not going to be slanted. It's kind of common sense. If you know, you know. That's a touchy subject, but so many questions that will never be answered, and that's the sucky part. Aaliyah deserves justice.
Looking into it, I'm like, oh, she was sleeping, but it's just so eerie looking at that picture. And Fatima being the one to take it, now you can say it's a big coincidence. It was what it was. She just happened to take that picture, but it's just like all these last pictures that Fatima wanted to take. And it's like, did she have a premonition? Did she know something was going to happen? Did she feel something was going to happen? Did she know some stuff behind the scenes that was just like, let me just take these last pictures just in case, you know? Another thing Fatima also came out and said is how, y'all know Aaliyah's subtitle album came out. Fatima had wanted an autograph. So Aaliyah, finding the fun and irony in it, she autographed it for Fatima, and it was just like a fun thing because they're friends. She's a choreographer. It was like, oh, you want my autograph? Okay, you know, she signed it for fun. Fatima,
I never knew that. That's even more weird.
On all these keepsakes from Aaliyah, and it makes you wonder, on the other shoots, like Try Again and Are You That Somebody, did Fatima take a lot of behind-the-scenes pics, or did she want some keepsakes from it? It really makes me think, what made Fatima want to take all of these pictures, eerie pictures of them leaving, pictures of Aaliyah sleeping? It makes you think about it. And like I said, this could all be a coincidence. And I'm not saying Fatima had nothing to do with what happened at the airport, but it just makes you wonder. Now, we go back to the scheduled flights that was supposed to happen. There was a flight scheduled to pick Aaliyah up the next day. But remember, Aaliyah had left a day early. So, while at the airport, Aaliyah and or her team had to schedule another company to come pick them up, which was Black Hawk. And this is where the confusion comes in because it's like, y'all know how many people was there, y'all know they had their luggage. Why did they send that smaller plane? Damon Dash came out saying Lenny Kravitz had sent a flight, or he had communicated with Aaliyah via BlackBerry, telling her not to get on. She didn't feel safe. But it's like, y'all knew who was at the airport. Y'all knew it was Aaliyah +8. Y'all knew they had all this luggage. Y'all should have knew what type of plane to send, even if it wasn't the original flight that was scheduled to take her back. But I digress. And another thing I want to say is, you really think about it, right? Aaliyah had did all her dance scenes. Aaliyah had did all her beach scenes. That was really the basis of being in the Bahamas, for Aaliyah to do the scenes on the beach and for them to dance on the boat in the white outfits. What else needed to be filmed? Because that's another thing. I'm gonna save this for the Hype video, but I just want to mention, Hype said we had to film some more shots and do this and do that. The bulk of the Bahamas footage was done. That's why Aaliyah left.
Everybody wanted their keepsake photos from Aaliyah. I feel like Hype Williams just needed all the film that he can get, not only to put this together, but probably to keep for himself. Especially if he ever fall flat, he could just sell the footage that he has of Aaliyah for a lot. He probably is just waiting to sought the opportunity to use the extra footage that he filmed to help himself if he ever needs it. A lot of fishy people, man. Her people wasn't her people. She knew. If you know, you know.
Aaliyah started the video. The video's done. The choreography is
Her
done.
outfit,
everything. All those scenes are done. So it's like, y'all could have left with Aaliyah if y'all wanted to. But then I get it. It's the Bahamas. They was like, oh, Aaliyah wanna leave early? No, I wanna enjoy my extra day in the Bahamas. It's the Bahamas, right? You wanna enjoy your extra day that you were supposed to be there. I get it. I get it. But there was still some discrepancies with the flight arrangements that hasn't really came out yet. And Fatima, being one of the ones who stayed at the resort, she had close connections to Aaliyah. Her and Derek Lee, they went to the crash site. Like they said, they went to each of the bodies and prayed over them and talked to them. Fatima was the one who had to make that phone call to Aaliyah's mother. It seems as Fatima had to have had some type of information. She had to have known something.
I feel like Fatima was the leader. She was being orchestrated in the Bahamas. Like, that was her job in the Bahamas, to do all those things. It was like an agenda. Everybody had their own agendas when it came to Aaliyah's death. You know how they have handlers? I feel like Fatima was her handler in the Bahamas, you know, not really like dealing with music, but just like for this situation that was going on, Aaliyah's upcoming death at the time. She was Aaliyah's handler. She was making sure everything got done. She was getting her deeds and getting her pictures like he said, and autographs, stuff like that, and doing whatever she was told to do while down there, and all while getting what she wanted.
Now, Fatima was not there at the airport. That's a major factor. I know that. I know somebody's gonna say, but she wasn't there. We know Fatima wasn't there. She didn't have nothing to do with the scheduling of the flights or nothing. But when she went to the crash site, when she went to the airport, I know she had to have found out something. What happened? Who did this? Who allowed this? You know? And I know there was some communication between Fatima and Hype when she went back to the resort. It's some miscommunication, something missing. That's like, what really caused this? Besides the airport's negligence, what really caused the manipulation for Aaliyah and the 8 others that were with her to feel safe enough to get on this flight? There's some key information missing that when you take what you got, you take what you heard, you take what was told to us, it's like, oh, it was just an unfortunate accident. But there's some key information missing. And Fatima had her hands in everything. She had...
The more you think about it, the more you realize there are stuff missing too. You know, you start asking questions like, well, why did that? Why did that? And people can't answer it. They're just like, true. Why? We can't answer it just as much as you can. It's just so much missing. It doesn't make sense either. Someone big had to set this up because it was just so clean. Someone's walking away free.
Aaliyah's mother's number. She's the one that went to the crash site with Derek Lee. She took all these last eerie photos, and she just had this connection with Aaliyah. And I know Fatima, she seemed like that type to be like, she just wasn't gonna take, oh, it was just an accident. You know, Fatima was like, wait, what? And even in the behind the music interview, when Fatima got emotional discussing, like, wasn't I just saying bye to these people? Wasn't I just hugging these people?
Not one tear.
Later? That's a pain and trauma one can only imagine. To see your friends and people you were just working with in a state like that. So I could just imagine what Fatima was going through in that moment, going to that site and just looking at the aftermath. But that's where the lines get blurry, and that's where it was just an accident. We don't know.
That interview that Fatima did talking about Aaliyah and stuff, she was kind of crying, but there was no tears, and it looked very fake. And then when people cry, they just be like, fake crying. And then she looked back up, and then she just started talking. I just feel like Fatima, I just call it bull crap. They say that Hollywood is nothing but a big act, entertainment.
What happened? I don't know why. I don't know when. I don't know how. They all say that. But there's something somebody knows, or something that multiple people know that has just never came out. And maybe it's a sworn secret. Maybe they all know, and maybe they just decided to let it rest. But it's like, justice is not going to be fully served, like I said in the beginning, until the full truth comes out. Because
which will never.
Like this. Forget about Aaliyah being a famous superstar, big R&B artist, a big movie star. Forget about Aaliyah being famous. Aaliyah and her team, they were just people with common sense. They had lives they wanted to live, families they wanted to see. They had so much more life ahead of them. Forget about the fame of it all. They were just people. You really think these people with common sense, but all they had to live for was get on a flight? After they were warned, they had too much weight on it. After it was warned, there was too many of them. If they were told, if you get on this flight, it's gonna crash, and you think that, you know what, let's go.
I don't care. I still want to take my bags because I have important things in here, and I'll risk my life. Come on now. Not Aaliyah. Even her brother said she was scared to get on a plane. At this point, it's not adding up. We need something.
Oh, we'll take our chances. Oh, this plane is gonna crash if we all get on it? Well, let's see what happens.
Right.
I don't really think that happened. And I know for sure knowing how Fatima was, knowing how close she was, she just damn let that slide. She went to that airport, she questioned them, her and Derek Lee. They went there, they questioned them, they got some answers, or maybe not. I feel like Fatima knows something that she just decided to do.
Also, before this goes off or in this video, I just want to say that I feel like Derek Lee has something to do with it too. Like, those were the two callbacks, Fatima and Derek Lee. What did they see? What did they know? What did they hear? What did the paramedics tell them? Like, what was told to Diane and them exactly? Like, what did Fatima say? These are things that would probably help a lot, but given the fact that they don't want this to be solved, they're not gonna say anything. So at this point, everybody is just rocking with the luggages was too heavy and that the pilot was screwed up. That's what everyone's going with. At this point, they're not probably gonna open up an investigation because for one, two, it was not in the US, so the US is not gonna do nothing about it. It's only in the hands of the Bahamas people. And do you think they're really gonna open an investigation? They ain't trying to get in trouble.
And if Fatima knows some information that could be key in revealing why this all happened, I'm not saying that Fatima's supposed to come up with a tell-all book to sell millions of copies. I know what happened to Aaliyah on her last flight. I know what happened to Aaliyah at that airport.
Even if she did, she's not gonna do it because they know what really cracked down in the Bahamas and ain't nobody trying to speak out. Ain't nobody trying to get their lives hampered with. Everybody on hush mode at this point, which is sad.
But if she wanted to, she could have came up with the truth and told her truth, told the real full truth, and not just a sugar-coated story. That sounds good for an interview, if you know what I mean. Just tell the full truth for final closure. And y'all wanna know another question I always had, sidelining from Fatima? At the airport, I always wondered if footage of Aaliyah and her crew exists at the airport. Y'all know it's footage everywhere. I know this is 2001, but I feel like they had some type of tape. There's some type of tape or VHS, some type of footage out there of Aaliyah and her team at the airport that has never seen a light of day. It probably still exists somewhere. Footage of them at the airport, waiting, talking to somebody, waiting around, lounging around. I feel like there's footage of them at that airport that was covered up. So,
wasn't Aaliyah's diary supposed to be part of the Bahamas stuff? They were filming there for her when she was like Bangles or whatever. Wasn't that Aaliyah's diary? So I'm pretty sure they have some footage even way past that. I'm pretty sure.
To wrap it up, this was not a video blaming Fatima for anything or trying to make it seem like she has something to do with it. Not that at all. But there is some questionable things and circumstances around those last few days and those last pictures and those last interviews she did that were kind of like, and you could just let it be, take her word for it and be like, okay, that's what happened. And Fatima, being one of those people that had her hands in everything at that point in time, it seems like she knows more, or she knew more, or she's one of the people that knows something, but she hasn't revealed it yet. Key information that could be the key to unlocking this mystery of why Aaliyah and her team felt comfortable enough to get on that fateful flight. This was just me digging deeper for the truth. Fatima was one of the last people to see Aaliyah alive, to see everyone else that was with Aaliyah alive. She was one of those last people to really be there, immersed there. Aaliyah's parents and Rashad, they were not there. Fatima was the one there. She was one of the first ones to go to the site afterwards. They found out what happened. Hype Williams didn't come to the site. I'm gonna talk about that more in his video. Fatima and Derek Lee rushed over to the site to see what happened. So it's just kind of like submissive.
They probably came, and I'm not blaming them or saying that this has any truth to it, but they probably went over to see if Aaliyah was actually dead, like to confirm everything that just happened. And I always have that in my mind, like, why those two? Why did they call them back to the scene? Was it to confirm that their plan was successful?
Information that I feel would tie everything up together to be like, oh, so that's what it was. And with that, I leave it there. Do you guys think Fatima Robinson knows more about Aaliyah's accident? And if y'all have any other information, key information, articles, stuff you've heard, stuff you read that I missed out on regarding Fatima, regarding the accident in general, regarding sketchy details surrounding why they got on that flight, let me know down below. Let's discuss it down below. This should make for an intriguing discussion. It's been over 20 years. It's about time we get to the real truth. Please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe,
That was a pretty good video, but you know me, I'm unlike these YouTubers, and I mean no disrespect by that, but I speak my mind, and if I have my suspicions about someone, I'm gonna say it. Like, I can't blame her and say, oh yeah, she 100% did that. But when you, like he said, look at everything, it just doesn't add up. Fatima was doing the most, and then you have this bit of interview footage from Mary J. Blige, and I'm just like, well, Aaliyah had a lot of people in her life, so what kind of people? Her family wasn't there, so she can't be talking about that. Fatima was close, like he said, they had a good relationship with each other, enough for Fatima to be in dang near every music video, to be helping her with her dance moves, them staying together. Fatima would probably know key information on Aaliyah and her family. Anyways, that'll be it for my video. Let me know if you guys would like to see more of these videos, because that was definitely interesting. It's good to hear this stuff from other people's point of views, because I feel like I'm the only one that talks about this, but I'm more blunt about what I talk about if you know me. Anyways, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Do you remember that one night when we fell in love? What we had felt so right, 'cause we had trust. Now it's drowning in our lives. I know we're broken up, you know the feelings deep inside. So